Okay. We are having some technical issues. We're here, but I'm going to be making sure we can get folks in before we get started on any of the evening's festivities. Now, we have a public video. I have my microphone input back, and we are live and streaming. Kind of a sloppy beginning to Stave 5. Nevertheless, though, we are here. And I don't know what's happened to my chat in the actual window, but I've got it over here too. So we will figure it out as things go on. Okay, so I see. All right, I see. Wait, I think I see. Yeah, let me know if you're in and you're hearing everything all right, because something weird happened with my microphone and I had to restart everything, and YouTube didn't actually remember the stream, and it did remember the stream, and it was like, oh, you're done with that. Sorry, we're moving on. The King of Meats has arrived. welcome, Pitmaster Zach. It is good to have you with us. How was the brisket? That's the question. That is, in fact, the question. I want to know how it tasted. I want to know how long it took. I want to know the kind of gloves you're using. I want to know the rub. We can talk all this kind of stuff. But yeah. So let me see here. We got yeah, this chat window works if you in OBS. I don't know if any of you have used OBS. I'm sure some of you have. In OBS, I connected my YouTube account, and if you have everything perfect when you start, then the YouTube chat pops up in the OBS window. If you don't, it just looks at you like you're an idiot, and I don't know. It's probably a way to fix it, but I'm not smart enough to fix it, especially not on the fly. And so I had to, long story short, had to restart the stream. It's a slightly different link, so I threw it up in the YouTube. Falling apart. We were trying to use forks on it. Might have been the best thing I've ever. Oh man, let me tell you, a good slow cooked brisket is fantastic. And you know what's weird is my stream window over here is still just showing the it's you're seeing me, right? Like you're actually seeing me and not just listening to me and looking at a splash, right? But yeah, you get that nice tender, like about what 205, 210 is where that really starts to happen. And if you get it right, it's amazing. Goodness gracious. It was a bit of a harrowing start to the evening. Hopefully everything will be chill and cool, and you can see and hear. Fantastic. All we got to do is make sure that folks can actually make it in, that intend to make it in. I will watch my Facebook and chat and so forth, just in case anybody comes in and can't find it. Hopefully we'll get folks, hopefully we'll get folks in here, despite the abrupt turn of events. Cool. So, but as usual, we're going to wait a little while before we get rolling on the reading and give folks a chance to find the new stream. Oh no, that's interesting. So I'm seeing a delay in my window of like just now I'm seeing the beginning of this stream. Isn't that weird? That's really weird. I'm seeing it. Okay. We'll have to see how much of a delay there actually is. It doesn't seem like there is much because your responses have been fairly quick. So I don't think we're having any trouble. I think YouTube is just YouTubing it. Live streaming. So I could probably restart. Let me reload the YouTube page, not the OBS. I want to see if it catches me up. Let's see what happens. Yep. Okay. I just saw myself say, let's see what happens. Now we're okay. At least I'm okay. Yeah. There's a little delay. You can't help some delay. There's going to be 5 seconds or so. Anyway, let's see. What do we got going on tonight? So tonight is the big night. Stave 5 is tonight. We have the raffle for the book tonight. We have We're going to set pudding on fire and see how it turned out. Now that it's out of the basin, I can confess that I had my doubts about the quantity of flour. And if you were here for night 2, then you realize that that is a Christmas Carol reference. That would be Mrs. Cratchit's post-pudding admission. But yeah, so I think we have 4 concurrent viewers. All right, we're doing good. I'm going to give folks a chance. And I need to make sure that the YouTube link is awfully sloppy. I just threw it up there and it doesn't have any sort of like context or anything. It's like, here's the new link, everybody. Let me get some of these windows closed that I don't need. And let's get a few tickets over here so we can get some folks in who are... Where's my pen? I know there's a pen here somewhere. This is the most accessory heavy night of all of the staves. I've got all kinds of things out here to make sure that the pudding goes smoothly. And we're going to start. We'll get Rob. We'll get Kyle. We will get Zach. And then we'll see who else pops in. So tonight I had to do some music at the Christmas Eve service at church. So I left that. I did what I had to do, and then I left that a little early to come in here and get ready because as I said, accessory heavy night. We've got pudding stuff. We've got raffle stuff. We've got all of the things. We've got our festive drink, which it's promised on the thing. Tonight's festive drink. This is actually just a ruby port, which is in and of itself quite festive. I do find them quite tasty. If you know, a port, by the way, is actually they're Portuguese. They are fortified for travel and endurance and longevity, and they're quite good. They get a little raisiny. If you are not a fan of raisins, those can be a little bit off-putting, but they're very sweet. And so that is the festive drink tonight. And of course the pudding, you can see right off this camera here, you can see the bowl that is covering the pudding itself, which is the festive snack. And I'm seeing a couple more people make their way in. I just like to keep people guessing, keep you on your toes, so that you you practice your internet skills, like finding a live stream when I just change it last minute. It's a different link and everything. Okay, hello. Oh, hey, Caitlin. Merry Christmas Eve to you. I'm putting you down on this ticket here. We're going to see who we get. And you're going in there. We got some... I have all 4, like the first 4 nights are separated up here. So once it's time to tally them up, it's easiest for the bonus ones to have the days separated out. So if somebody makes it all 5 days, they get an extra one, right? So that's how I tally it up at the end. There's a lot of me just looking down and counting and trying not to be boring. Hey, Brent, welcome. I'm glad you made it. I think you've been around before, but I don't see you very often. You made it tonight. That's great. I'm putting your name on a ticket here. If you do watch, I'm not sure you don't log in or don't comment, but but yes, welcome to night 5. This is if you're going to come one night, this is the night to come because there's fire. That's okay. All other 4 staves are actually still on YouTube. I delete the old ones every year so that there's a fresh batch of them. And it's not, you don't have to pour through a bunch of videos. All right. Well, I don't delete them. I make them private so that there's only the 5. But yeah, we'll get rolling on the reading in about 15 minutes. Well, 20 minutes. It's 9:10. Here's a fun thing. I brought this up for a little show and tell. So, some of you may know I upgraded my 3D printer a few months ago, and I've been having a lot of fun. It's a Bamboo P1S. I sold my Snapmaker 2.0 because it was a jack of all trades and a master of none. It did like CNC, it did laser engraving, and it did 3D printing, but none of it particularly well. It was okay, but none of it particularly well. So I sold it and I upgraded my printer to a Bamboo P1S, and I have been printing these lovely 2-color Christmas ornaments. Look, they're super thin, but these lovely relief 3D Christmas ornaments. There's this one you can't really tell on the stream, but it's a kind of a twinkling twilight navy blue with a white relief. It's a Christmas bulb and lots of decorative stuff. So I've been printing these, and it does an amazing job. I highly recommend the Bamboo ecosystem. They are all fantastic printers, and they have been not nearly so problematic. I get to spend time printing things and not trying to figure out why I can't print things. And that's the first time I've ever been able to do that. And yes, they are. Isn't it great, Caitlin? And there's like super light. They'll hang on any tree. And yeah, it takes one of these takes about 3 hours to make, but it's with the bamboo, you set it and it just goes and it's done. So that's super fun. Oh my goodness. All right. Who we got here? We got, let's see, Brent Fugue, a little behind the time. We need flamage on Christmas. Absolutely. Now, would that be flamage, or are we going to be fancy and call it flamage? Because I think either one is viable. And hello, Mr. Fear 6704. Merry Christmas. Are you new to the stream, or is this like, are you a person I know, or are you just wandering in? Because welcome either way. And I feel like Mr. Fear 6704, were you, someone was here night one, and I can't remember if it was you, might have been somebody else, but it was a name like that. You're Caitlin's, oh, well, welcome, Caitlin's husband. It's nice to have you, Caitlin's husband. I'm just going to write that down here. Caitlin's husband. Caitlin's H. What? I don't do names unless you want me to have the name. Nate, nice to meet you, Nate. I try not to read names out unless it's like in the whatever, you know. But yes, it is nice. It is nice to meet you. And we are, let's see, 9:13. Yeah. So the where was I? 3D printing. We talked about the port. We talked about the upcoming pudding. We're going to read first, and then after we do the reading, we'll do the pudding and then the raffle. Because if I do the raffle first, we'll do the pudding first. We want to do the pudding first and get that, make sure that there's actual fire. And as I was saying to Lord Ramsey earlier, we want to avoid any, what did I say? I wanted to have a non-viral pudding. What did I say? What did we say? Hold on, I'll look over here at it. The non-viral pudding ignition. That's what we were going for, which Lady Ramsey decided was a good band name, and I highly concur. But yes, we're going for a non-viral pudding ignition tonight. Yes. Any year that I can light the pudding on fire and not end up an internet sensation, we're going to call that good. Oh, nice. Folks are making it in. There's 10. I'm seeing 10 now. That's a relief. I was concerned that the little switch up at the end was going to like be a big hiccup. Turns out you guys are savvy folks. That's why this audience, the Christmas Carol audience, the Fadó live audience, super savvy. Now you may, the most astute of you may notice I'm wearing a different hat tonight. I can't find my Kringle, which is my favorite one, but this one is my second favorite, and it is the Scrooge by Boston Scally. It is in fact called the Scrooge. If you look inside in the hat here, the Scrooge, and I am quite a fan of it as well. I got the pin on this side, which you can't really see very well. Yeah, and so what happened was I got into the stream, everything was perfect, and I went to turn my sound on and everything, and I wasn't getting any levels at all from my Rode microphone, my good microphone. And so I couldn't get it to happen, anything to happen. It wasn't showing up. So I had to actually kill everything and reboot OBS And when I did that, it killed the stream, and YouTube then wouldn't let me back into the original stream. So I just fired off a quick one. And so now we're in a good stream, but it's not like formatted well. And it was private, and I had to set it to public before anybody could get in, and what a mess. But here we are. What is Christmas without a little bit of chaos on Christmas Eve? Just a little. So, I need a drink of water. But yeah, we're in good shape. We're going to be kicking off at 9:30 on the reading, which, as I've said, is a super short stave. This is the shortest of the 5 by far, and doesn't take very long at all. The episode that I did on it is only about 15 minutes long, with the intro and outro included. So it's super short, but it is a great ending for the story. I'm just now noticing that when I moved my camera earlier. Yeah, okay, this is just me. My brain is going everywhere. But when I moved my camera earlier to do the test for the pudding, so I knew where to put it for the pudding, I didn't put it back so that stave is visible entirely, and that's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to try to ignore it, because fiddling with the camera is one time I'm fiddling with the camera. If I move it twice, that's just too much moving. We had some fun last week playing Jackbox games, and I think if we may be able to do one of those after we're done. We've got a lot of what do they call it, housekeeping once we get finished reading, but we'll see if we can squeeze that in. I don't want to keep you all too late on Christmas Eve. But we're up to 11. See, this is good. I think this is the normal level of viewership, so I'm pleased to see that. 11, and it has blossomed up to close to 20 in the past when everybody shows up. But I'm not here. I'm not here for it's not the numbers. We're all here having a good time, numbers or otherwise. And so I'm glad. If it was just me talking to YouTube with nobody, I'd just be talking. I don't know what. I'm not sure what I would do actually if it was just me sitting here. Nobody commenting, because there wouldn't be anybody to comment. Yeah, Fibbage was a lot of fun. I enjoy Fibbage. It's probably my favorite Jackbox game. There's so many good ones, but Fibbage is and it plays well in this setting. It's really good for this setting. Let's see. Oh gosh, let me tell you what. It's been a crazy month. I think you were here for, bathroom renovation starting at the end of November. Got that done, and it's just been a run. And normally I deliver cookies at work 3 weeks ago. And today I was out, yesterday I was out, like delivering cookies, like and it was right up to the wire. And I can feel my brain going, oh yeah, man, and we're gonna sleep so hard tonight, because tomorrow all I gotta do is eat ham. That's my goal tomorrow. Eat ham. It has been a crazy year, and like personally, like there's a lot, but also, man, yeah, Kyle and I work together. What a crazy year this year. What a crazy year this week has been. That's fairly true. What a crazy year this week has been. And so, yes, I'm actually looking forward to a new year at work, as well as just a new year in general. There's a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. There's a lot, but it's not bad. There's been some ups and downs, but it's not been bad. And that's one of the things. You get to the end of this story, and it's a very uplifting, very bright ending to, which is one of the reasons I love it so much. Is it really, especially on a Christmas Eve, it's a great way to finish up Christmas Eve. It is a great ending, and it's every time I read it, I get a little bit emotional about it. I don't know what it is. It's just a great story. Great story. The way that it's told is super warm. It's really great. I am telling you, every year I listen to the recordings that I did in 2020 of the story when it was just part of my show, and I want to go every. I said this last year and I didn't do it. I really need to do it, but I want to go back and I want to re-record those episodes because I understand the text so much better now, and I want to put accents in there because there's so many parts of this that without a good like Cockney or without a good like London accent, you to get there, that really adds something to some of the dialogue and to some of the way things are said. Um, what comes to mind specifically is last week the pawn shop scene in Christmas Future, Stave 4. The pawn shop scene needs Cockney everywhere. It needs that all over the place, and without it, it falls a little flat, to be honest. So I do the best I can with my, you know, continental American accent, you know, but I have not. I need to do it. I just need to do it. And okay, so I think this has probably come up to room temperature. A chilled port is the flavors are tamped down in a chilled port. Oh, okay. Hold on. Lovely. Quite festive. So that's a Sandeman Ruby port. Very raisiny, and it's got a nice warm finish. It's really good. If you want to try a port, it's a good one. It's not expensive, like a Ruby Sandeman, Sandeman. Really delicious. I'd love to hear War of the Worlds. You know, that'd be good. Let's see. We got a few minutes here. Let me do H.G. Wells. Let's see. War of the Worlds. Let's pop that up here. 1898. So we're well, of course I knew that, but like we're well inside the public domain. Or outside the public domain. Wait, inside. We're well into the public domain. Perfect. It's also Victorian. And let's see. Whew. 319 pages. It's a bit of a longer story than this is, but great story. I did Time Machine. I did Jules Verne's Time Machine, and that was fun to read. This one, yeah, War of the Worlds would be good. Good story. I'll put that on the thing. Every year I think about how I'm going to manage to, yes, H.G. Wells again. How I managed every year I think about how I'm going to manage to get a little more time to do some more recording. I love the recording. I love to record the stories, but finding the time to edit and get everything published and do that is tricky. And again, like alluding to earlier, like what a crazy year it's been. Finding the time to do that is always a challenge. So, you know, in the new year, I'm always like, okay, here we go. I'm going to do more stuff. And so to say yes to that, I have to say no to other things. And so I have to figure out what those are. And yeah, so, but yes, Time Machine was fun to record, and it's, you know, you see the movies, but reading the text, it's, you know, you get the original intention. It's the same with Christmas Carol. There's so many adaptations of Christmas Carol, and they all cover some of it, but they don't cover all of it. Actually, the Muppet Christmas Carol gets most of it in there, I think, and it's a good one. And so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do more. I need to finish up. There are 2 episodes of the Buck Rogers story I was doing earlier this year. 2 of those, and I've got 1 in the can that's I've got to finish editing and get out, and then 1 that I have to still record. So we're gonna try. We're gonna give it a shot. So watch for that if you get a chance. 9:25. I think we're doing okay. I think I'll probably go ahead and start here in a second. All right. So up to now, so Stave 1 through 4 has been the whole Scrooge going through the trials of his own life and the monster of his own making to arrive at Stave 5, which Stave 5 is short and sweet and does a whole lot in a really short space. And there's a thing I'll bring up at the end, which I was listening to somebody commenting on about Tiny Tim that is interesting to me. It's really not about the story or the theme or anything. It's just a practical question about Tiny Tim that I was watching somebody discuss. And so if I remember, I'm going to try to remember, maybe remind me if you want to, but I'll try to remember to cover that real quick because we'll talk about it at the end. All right. A little bit of water. All right. This is energetic. This is an energetic one. So I got to be on. Got to be on my game. Glasses. You know what's funny? 2 weeks ago, and I don't know why I just thought of this. 2 weeks ago, I was talking on Spoopy Brew has been in here. You know Spoopy. He's been in here. 2 weeks ago, I was on his stream. We were talking about speak and spells, and had not seen a speak and spell in many, many, many years. The next day, I got an ad for a new version of the speak and spell. It's actually it's a replica of the original speak and spell from the 80s, and $16. I didn't buy it, but I did send it to them. It's crazy how I never searched it. All I did was talk about it on stream, and then I got an ad for it. Creepy, folks. Oh, okay. So, yeah, Facebook, no joke. Facebook and TikTok and Amazon and Instagram and everybody's listening. So, that doesn't creak. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Perfect. Oh, it's 9:28. All right, let's get into it. We'll get this read, and then we've got all kinds of fun stuff to do. Okay, I'm up here. Yes. Okay, folks, here we go. This is Year 6, Stave 5, as written by Charles Dickens in 1843. A Christmas Carol, Stave 5, the end of it. Yes, and the bedpost was his own. The bed was his own. The room was his own. Best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own, to make amends in. I will live in the past, the present, and the future, Scrooge repeated as he scrambled out of bed. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and the Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, old Jacob, on my knees. He was so fluttered and so glowing with his good intentions that his broken voice would scarcely answer to his call. He had been sobbing violently in his conflict with the spirit, and his face was wet with tears. They are not torn down, cried Scrooge, folding one of his bed curtains in his arms. They are not torn down, rings and all. They are here. I am here. The shadows of the things that would have been may be dispelled. They will be. I know they will. His hands were busy with his garments all this time, turning them inside out, putting them upside down, tearing them, mislaying them, making them parties to all kinds of extravagance. I don't know what to do, cried Scrooge, laughing and crying in the same breath, and making a perfectly echo one of himself with the stockings. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. A Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world. Hello there. Hoop, hello. He had frisked into the sitting room and was now standing there, perfectly winded. "There's the saucepan that the gruel was in," cried Scrooge, starting off again and going around the fireplace. "There's the door by which old ghost of Jacob Marley entered. There's the corner where the ghost of Christmas Present sat. There's the window where I saw the wandering spirits. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened. Ha ha ha!" Really, for a man who had been out of practice for so many years, it was a splendid laugh, a most illustrious laugh, the father of a long, long line of brilliant laughs. "I don't know what day of the month it is," said Scrooge. "I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind, I don't care. I'd rather be a baby. Hello, Hoop! Hello there!" He was checked in his transports by the churches ringing out the lustiest peals he had ever heard. Clash, clang, hammer, ding, dong, bell. Bell, dong, ding, hammer, clang, clash. Oh, glorious, glorious! Running to the window, he opened it and put out his head. No fog, no mist, clear, bright, jovial, stirring cold. Cold, piping hot for the blood to dance to. Golden sunlight, heavenly sky, sweet fresh air, merry bells. Oh, glorious, glorious! "What's today?" cried Scrooge, calling downward to a boy in Sunday clothes, who perhaps had loitered in to look about him. "Eh?" returned the boy with all his might of wonder. "What's today, my fine fellow?" said Scrooge. "Today," replied the boy, "why, Christmas Day." "It's Christmas Day," said Scrooge to himself. "I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow." "Hello," returned the boy. "Do you know the poulterers in the next street but one at the corner?" Scrooge inquired. "I should hope I did," replied the lad. "An intelligent boy," said Scrooge. "A remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the little prize turkey, the big one." "What, the one as big as me?" returned the boy. "What a delightful boy," said Scrooge. "It's a pleasure to talk to him. Yes, my buck." "It's hanging there now," replied the boy. "Is it?" said Scrooge. "Go and buy it." "Walker!" exclaimed the boy. "No, no," said Scrooge, "I'm in earnest. Go and buy it and tell them to bring it here, that I may give them the direction where to take it. Come back with the man and I'll give you half a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown." The boy was off like a shot. He must have had a steady hand at the trigger who could have got a shot off half so fast. "I'll send it to Bob Cratchit," whispered Scrooge, rubbing his hands and splitting with a laugh. "He shan't know who sends it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Joe Miller never made such a joke as sending it to Bob's will be." The hand in which he wrote the address was not a steady one, but write it he did, somehow, and went downstairs to open the street door, ready for the coming of the poulterer's man. As he stood there, waiting his arrival, the knocker caught his eye. "I shall love it as long as I live," cried Scrooge, patting it with his hand. "I scarcely ever looked at it before. What an honest expression it has in its face. What a wonderful knocker. Here's the turkey. Hello, Hoop! How are you? Merry Christmas!" It was a turkey. He never could have stood upon his legs, that bird. He would have snapped them off short in a minute like sticks of sealing wax. "Why, it's impossible to carry that to Camden Town," said Scrooge. "You must have a cab." The chuckle with which he said this, and the chuckle with which he paid for the turkey, and the chuckle with which he paid for the cab, and the chuckle with which he recompensed the boy, were only to be exceeded by the chuckle with which he sat down breathless in his chair again, and chuckled till he cried. Shaving was not an easy task, for his hand continued to shake very much, and shaving requires attention even when you don't dance while you're at it. But if he had cut the end off his nose, he would have put a piece of sticking plaster over it and been quite satisfied. He dressed himself all in his best, and at last got out into the streets. The people were by this time pouring forth, as he had seen them with the ghost of Christmas Present, and walking with his hands behind him, Scrooge regarded every one of them with a delighted smile. He looked so irresistibly pleasant, in a word, that 3 or 4 good-humoured fellows said, "Good morning, sir, a Merry Christmas to you." And Scrooge said often afterwards that of all the blithe sounds he had ever heard, those were the blithest in his ears. He had not gone far when, coming on towards him, he beheld the portly gentleman who had walked into his counting-house the day before and said, "Scrooge and Marley's, I believe." It sent a pang across his heart to think how this old gentleman would look upon him when they met, but he knew what path lay straight before him, and he took it. "My dear sir," said Scrooge, quickening his pace and taking the old gentleman by both his hands, "how do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir." Mr. Scrooge? Yes, said Scrooge, that is my name. I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness—" Here Scrooge whispered in his ear. "Lord bless me!" cried the gentleman, as if his breath were taken away. "My dear Scrooge, are you serious?" "If you please," said Scrooge, "and not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?" "My dear sir," said the other, shaking hands with him, "I don't know what to say to so much "Don't say anything, please," retorted Scrooge. "Come and see me. Will you come and see me?" "I will," cried the old gentleman, and it was clear he meant to do it. "Thank ye," said Scrooge. "I'm much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you." He went to church and walked about the streets and watched the people hurrying to and fro, and patted children on the head, and questioned beggars, and looked down into the kitchens of houses and up into the windows, and found that everything could yield him pleasure. He had never dreamed that any walk, that anything could give him so much happiness. In the afternoon he turned his steps toward his nephew's house. He passed the door a dozen times before he had the courage to go up and knock, but he made a dash and did it. "Is your master at home, my dear?" said Scrooge to the girl. "Nice girl, very." "Yes, sir." "Where is he, my love?" said Scrooge. "He's in the dining room, sir, along with the mistress. I'll show you upstairs, if you please." "Thank you, he knows me," said Scrooge, with his hand already on the dining room lock. "I'll go in here, my dear." He turned it gently and sidled his face in round the door. They were looking at a table which was spread out in great array, for these young housekeepers are always nervous on such points, and like to see that everything is right. "Fred!" said Scrooge. Dear heart alive, how his niece by marriage started. Scrooge had forgotten for the moment about her sitting in the corner with the footstool, or he would not have done it on any account. "Why, bless my soul!" cried Fred. "Who's that?" It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. I've come to dinner. Will you let me in, Fred?" Let him in. It is a mercy he didn't shake his arm off. He was at home in 5 minutes. Nothing could be heartier. His niece looked just the same. So did Topper when he came. So did the plump sister when she came. So did everyone when they came. Wonderful party, wonderful games, wonderful unanimity, wonderful happiness. But he was early at the office the next morning. Oh, he was early there. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late. That was the thing he had set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. 1/4 past. No Bob. He was full 18 minutes and a half behind his time. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come into the tank. His hat was off before he opened the door, his comforter too. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock. "Hello," growled Scrooge in his accustomed voice, as near as he could feign it. "What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?" "I'm very sorry, sir," said Bob. "I am behind my time." "You are?" repeated Scrooge. "Yes, I think you are. Step this way, sir, if you please." "It's only once a year, sir," pleaded Bob, appearing from the tank. "It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir." "Now I'll tell you what, my friend," said Scrooge. "I am not going to stand this sort of thing any longer, and therefore," he continued, leaping from his stool and giving Bob such a dig in the waistcoat that he staggered back into the tank again, "and therefore I'm about to raise your salary." Bob trembled and got a little nearer to the ruler. He had a momentary idea of knocking Scrooge down with it, holding him, and calling to the people in the court for help and a straight waistcoat. "A Merry Christmas, Bob," said Scrooge, with an earnestness that could not be mistaken, as he clapped him on the back. "A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family, and we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop, Bob. Make up the fires and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit." Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more, and Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as a good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them, for he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on this globe for good at which some people did not have their fill of laughter in the outset. And knowing that such as these would be blind anyway, he thought it quite as well that they should wrinkle up their eyes in grins as have the malady in less attractive forms. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He had no further intercourse with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle. Ever afterwards, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us, and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. The end. Ladies and gentlemen, we made it. Year 6. I told you it's a short one, right? But it's a great one. So, yeah, really, really big emotional ending for Scrooge. And it gets me every time. That last page gets me every time. So, yes, okay. I remember now. I remember what I was going to talk about before that, Stave. And so this was somebody who was talking about Tiny Tim. And how is it that, well, like, first of all, the question was, what was wrong with Tiny Tim? And how did Turkey save his life? And to me, it's always been kind of fairly obvious that, but this was somebody discussing the particulars of Victorian life, the symptoms that Tiny Tim had, and the potential for what it was he was dealing with. So this guy's opinion was that Tiny Tim was dealing with a couple of things. 3 things, actually. Rickets due to malnourishment and tuberculosis. And so this was the 2 things that he said. Rickets because of malnourishment, because they couldn't eat enough and he was sick. And rickets was a pretty common thing in Victorian England, especially for the lower class. And also tuberculosis was fairly common. And tuberculosis can be exacerbated by malnutrition and becomes a lot more survivable on its own if you're well fed. So this whole guy's video was really fascinating. And so this was the video. The premise was, how did Turkey save Tiny Tim's life? Like, what happened? What did he have? And why did Turkey save his life? And so the goal, I think his final thought on it was, basically Scrooge made sure that their family ate well. Tiny Tim was then better nourished and the rickets went away. He was better able to fight off the tuberculosis, and he survived the tuberculosis and did not die as predicted in the story. So that's what it was. That's what I was trying to remember. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the story. And, every year I think, should I read something different or should I try and find something else to do? But honestly, it's a portion of the stream, and the story it's one of my favorites. And I think probably a traditional read through of that story every year is it just makes me happy. And so I'm sticking with that. So if you're sticking around, you're going to hear it a lot, because I'm going to read it every year. But there's always other things going on. So, hopefully you won't get tired of A Christmas Carol. I don't think I ever will. So let's see. What do we have next to do? Now it is 9:44. I think probably we should do the pudding. I think everyone has had an opportunity to find the stream. Thank you, Brent. I do as well. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're enjoying it. You'll have to come for the whole thing next time. We have a great time. Week 4 is Stave 4 is the newly coined term is Pizza Rice Nacht, which is the holiday where we gather around and festively eat pizza rice, which I'll fill you in on sometime. It's a whole lot of history. But yes, Pizza Rice Nacht is week 4. There's always a variety of festive food and drink. And flat caps and stuff. Maybe one of these years, if I get confident enough, I'll read it in the accents too. That'll be fun. So we should probably do the pudding. Should be time to do the pudding. Now the thing about this is it's going to take me a second to set up. We're gonna get there, but it takes a second to set up. I have kind of done things ahead of time. I'm glad. I made my mind up 3 or 4 years ago. I'm just going to do this. And if there's 2 people or 200 people, whatever, we're just going to, it's looking like somewhere between 10 to 20 people is where we're going to be. And I'm happy with that. I'm perfectly happy. I love all of y'all. I'm glad you're here. Okay. So now this is the pudding, which I have not revealed just yet. It's under that thing. It's under the bowl. We have, let's see. Okay. You know what? Okay. All right. I'm going to move the camera so we can do the setup. So the camera I've been working on, hopefully this will not be a problem. What we got here is this angle. Let me move that out of the way. Okay, now and if you look over there, you'll see my little ferrofluid. I don't know. I got that on a shop somewhere. It's really fun. It's voice reactive, jumps around and stuff, and you can set the colors. Anyway, it's pretty fun. Okay, so the pudding, we'll put it in the foreground here, like this, and then so what we have in the pursuit of fire, we have the brulee torch right here, which, very handy. I think I picked this up. This might have been a Harbor Freight thing. I don't know. It's Ronson. No, it was not. It was somewhere else. It wasn't Harbor Freight. Last few streams I fell asleep on Liz because I'm very susceptible to stories. Yeah, it's funny. I had a couple people that listen to my show at work, and I've been told more than once that they listen to me to go to sleep, which they're always like, "Oh, I don't mean it that way." And I honestly, it's a compliment. Like if it's that calming that like you're listening to it to go to sleep, that's perfect. But so we have our brulee torch. We have the instrument of brandy delivery right here. This fine ladle, which this is the only ladle I have that I've had forever. I'm gonna move my serving tools back over here, and we have in this little container here is the brandy we're going to use for the fire. Now, let's see. It's very important that we do think. Oh, and also, just in case you're wondering, I do have a fire extinguisher can here, just in case things go crazy. We have a kitchen fire extinguisher here if I need to put myself out. I can't stop, drop, and roll here. I just have to hope for the best. Okay, so we're gonna let's reveal the pudding, shall we? Here is this year's pudding, which has I want to say this has gone better than most puddings. It's nice and glossy. It has a nice appearance. Definitely one of the better puddings. It turned right out. There was no sticking at all. Absolutely perfect. And I couldn't be happier with that. Yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased with this pudding. I know, like to the untrained eye, it looks like, well, it could be anything, right? But this is it's a nice, dark, glossy. You can see the way the light's shining on it. I'm super happy with it. Very happy with it. So now, oh hey, Spoop, made it just in time for the fire. But before I do, I don't want to forget. So I'm gonna put your name. I'm getting my pen back out. We're gonna get you in there. Okay. Got you. You're in the hat now. And yes, the consistency, it varies. I'm just going to put my pen there. I'm going to need it again. The consistency varies, but this one I'm real pleased with. It is affected a lot by the kind of breadcrumbs. It's affected a lot by how the oh, hey, lunatics are here. Oh my goodness, everybody's tuning in for the fire. Merry Christmas to you, Abby. And I'm sure Alan is there somewhere. We're going to put... There we go. Dropping that in the hat over here. Okay. Yes. Okay. And so, yes, the pellet grill will get you into that cooking, and you're going down the rabbit hole, and I'm here for it. I love it. The baking is fun. What I want to do, Zach, I'll tell you this, Zach, this will be important to you. For the last 2 years when we've been getting the cow from your family, like when we've been buying from literal beef, I've requested, the suet, like the kidney fat from the cow. Both times they were like, yes, they wrote it on the sheet, and I did not get it. Like they just haven't given it to me. And so I need to go up there or somewhere and get some, because I end up using shortening in this, but the original recipe was shredded suet, which would give it an even glossier, I think, consistency. I'm using the Crisco shortening, which is just vegetable shortening, but I think that the animal fat would absolutely change things a little bit, flavor-wise and consistency-wise. So that's just something I've not been able to do yet, though I'm trying for a more authentic pudding. We are, let's see, 9:50. We're doing good. We're doing great on time. I want to actually get some fat, because two things I want to do is the suet. I want to use the suet for like my puddings and some of my, 18th century, 19th century recipes that calls for it. But then also I would love to get some of just the fat so that I can render some tallow, because I want to try candles and some things like that. I want to make soap with it. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do with actually the beef, if I get a chance. So every time I ask, though, they write it down and then I never see it. I'll just have to walk in and demand that they sell me fat. Okay. So this, and for historicity, now, if you read the text of the reason we're doing this in the first place is from the Cratchit's dinner. But if you, if you read it, it says that the pudding was, soaked in half a quartern of ignited brandy. I talk about this every year, but half a quartern is about an eighth of a pint. And so we're not talking about a whole lot of brandy. However, our pudding is probably considerably bigger than the Cratchit's pudding. It doesn't look huge. This is a lot of pudding. This is a super dense dessert. If you've never had one, it is heavy, flavorful, rich. So it's the kind of thing you don't want to have a lot of. But their pudding was likely a third of this size, and they used half a quartern. I'm going to use probably 2 to 3 ounces to pour over this. Not only visually does that give us more fire, but it's better appropriate for this size. So the way this works. All right, is everybody ready? I'm ready. We better do this. We better do this before I lose my nerve. Okay, so what you got to do is, I'm going to pour some of the brandy into this ladle right here. And once it's in the ladle, then we're going to heat it up with the torch. The key is you want your brandy to be a little warm, and you don't want to just light it and stop. You need to heat it up a little bit so that it maintains the fire a little better. And we're about to, I love it. We're up to 14, first of all, concurrent viewers. Everybody's here for the fire. Hopefully YouTube doesn't ever notice this and think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem. But so what we're going to do is I'm going to take the lid off of this flask here where I have my brandy, and I'm going to pour 2 to 3 ounces of brandy into here. You don't want to get it too high, because honestly, I don't want it to run over and cause a big issue and start a fire. Well, I want to start the fire in the appropriate place. So here we go. Here's how this works. We're going to kick this off and start heating up the brandy. You will see it catch fire, but it's going to catch fire, and the flame is very blue and difficult to see at first, but you'll see it. And we want to make sure that the brandy has had a chance to warm up before we pour it and it extinguishes. So here we go. Now we're going to give it another few more seconds. You should be able to see the flame on the video pretty well. And then we will, that should do it. I'm going to extinguish my torch and slowly and carefully, close to the pudding, cover it in the brandy. There we go. Let's see if I can. There we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the end of yet another Christmas Carol read-through with flaming pudding. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. My ladle is very hot. And it'll burn out in just a few seconds here. It's important to have it in a good dark room so you can tell when the fire is out, because you don't want to put that in your mouth while the fire is still going. But yes, and so what that does, like that adds a wonderful depth of flavor to the pudding. The brandy soaks in, and that it burns off like most, if not all, of that alcohol. But the flavor of the brandy is kind of intensified, and classic flambe. Yo, that's fire. Never unbuckled 2613. I don't know if you're new, but welcome. I'm going to put, and so there we go. All right. Looks like our fire is now out. Now, the next thing that is important in any time you put a set of pudding on fire, we're going to have a little piece of it here. What flavor is brandy? Well, brandy is brandy flavor. What brandy is distilled wine. And brandy actually comes from a word that means burnt. And so burnt wine is actually what it is. So you make a wine and then you distill it and you end up with brandy. And so that's what it is. And it's got a very kind of grapey sort of burnt grape kind of flavor. Kind of hard to describe, really. But it's a key ingredient in a lot of desserts, actually. Bananas Foster, it comes to mind. But it's not super fruity. It is pretty sweet. It's a little fruity. It's kind of hard to describe. But I think, let's get up close here so you can see. So you can see how dense and dark that is. It's related to a fruitcake in a lot of ways, but it's not as, the fruitcake is, you can actually, so brandy you can drink warm. A lot of the containers of brandy, like you'll see like the big snifter, like the big glass, which is meant to kind of hold in your hand, and it warms it a little bit by your hand. There are plenty of raisin. There's raisin flavor. This is, most of the dried fruit is golden raisins and then just regular raisins. I'm going to try a little of this here. Okay. So, yeah, it tastes really good this year. So this year I didn't put plums in it. Traditionally, a plum pudding didn't have plums in it. Plum kind of meant something else. It referred to small fruits and things, but not plums. And so it's like, but it's a really raisiny, very tart, and I'm digging it this year. I can definitely say we succeeded on the pudding. So there is, okay. This particular pudding recipe, I don't remember the site now. I've had it printed off for like a decade. But actually, so first of all, I need to catch Never Unbuckled. I need to put you in the hat if you are interested for the raffle here in a few minutes, which is a copy of the book, a facsimile copy of the first edition. We're going to put you in there. It's very dark. Let me turn my light back on. There we go. Got it. You're in the hat. So what did they even have for fruit? So raisins actually were popular. There were I want to say too that like plums were even like small sweetened nuts as well. Oh, that's a great thing to. Okay, that's a great thing to talk. Oh, in fact, okay, let me move my camera back up. We're going to try it anyway. Let's see. We can. I've been working on it. There we go. There we go. And we're back. Okay. Woo. Okay. Kind of where we were. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? It is raisins, and it was raisins, but also, if you've heard of a sugar plum, everyone knows the dance of the sugar plum fairies. So, dance of the sugar plum fairies is the sugar plum fairies. A sugar plum was not actually a sugared plum. In a lot of cases, it was a cherry or some small fruit that had been sugared. And there's a process that's very long and involved. I think Tasting History has an episode on it. If you look that up about sugar plums, he goes into it. The closest thing he says is kind of related to if you get Jordan almonds, that's very similar to a traditional sugar plum. Gum arabic and powdered sugar is what goes on top of it and creates this coating. Sometime I want to try it, but it's super involved and fiddly. Any thoughts on plum brandy? No, and honestly, I'm not super experienced with brandy. I have not delved into that world very much. Most of the brandy that I have ever worked with or been involved with has been for, cooking pudding and things like that. And it's called for in a lot of recipes, but I've never really gotten into brandy in any way, other than the song by Looking Glass, which is fantastic. Yeah. So, and with a lot of the Victorian confection and stuff, some of the scarcity of some of those ingredients made them valuable and interesting and all that kind of stuff. And spices and things like that were all part of that economy. So, did I miss anything? Where did you find the recipe? Oh, the recipe for the pudding. So, it was like BritishCooking.com. Let me see if that's actually a thing. Well, not anymore. It may not actually be the domain name. So I have printed that off. That my pudding recipe I have on paper, and I've had it for like 12 or 13 years, maybe. The first one I made was like 2011. And it is, I'll have to look and see what the website is, if it even still exists. But if you just Google, traditional British Christmas pudding, you'll get a number of recipes. And yeah. Oh, and fun fact, I did in fact send Rob one. I sent Rob a pudding in the mail when it was a year or two after we met. Rob is one of my few British friends. And so I sent it to him, and yes, Rob said I got pretty close. And so I can say that at least we're working with, something pretty close to the authentic thing. I'd absolutely, yeah, I can send you the recipe. I may just take a picture of it and it's got stains on it from years of use, or I'll find it and send it your way. Yeah, I can do that. If I forget after we have this conversation, don't hesitate to send me a message and just let me know. I'll be glad to. And yeah, so I sent Rob the pudding in a flat rate UPS box or USPS box, and the thing weighed 5 pounds. It was like, I confess that they asked if there was anything liquid or fragile or perishable or whatever in there, and I was like, no. But so okay. I said no because the pudding most people eat for Christmas, they made for the previous Christmas. That's how it usually works. Like previous year, they make the pudding hangs there and matures. And it's actually much better if you let the thing mature. And you soak it with brandy, hang it on a cloth in a cloth and hang it up, and it ages, and it's delicious. And there's nothing in it that really goes bad. Everything is cooked down and rendered, and all of the fruits last for a really long time, and the brandy preserves it. But it's supposed to be a very non-perishable sort of dessert. But yeah, so I sent it to Rob, and Rob sent me back pudding cream, like this cream sauce that's supposed to go on top of it that I had never heard of and never had, and that was delicious. But then, I looked up a recipe for that. I may try and make some tomorrow for Christmas because I've got to feed this pudding to people, and so I may try and make some pudding cream. Well, that's okay. Never unbuckled. No sweat. Is the aging part of the pretty close you missed? Bird's custard. Thank you. That's what you sent me. I remember that now. And it was like it was delicious. It was delicious. Yes. So stale is kind of the word, but so when it comes to Christmas Day, and if you're in like Stave 2 looking at the Christmas past or Christmas present, yeah. So they have it steaming. And that's how it generally works. You make the pudding, and there's some traditions around it. Sometimes you all take turns stirring the pudding. I'm sure that there's like pudding songs that you sing while you're stirring. You make a wish while you're stirring. They throw in silver coins, all kinds of fun traditions, and those exist around making the pudding. And then it'll hang up, and then it steams for hours. Like you steam it and steam it and steam it the day of to rehydrate and moisten the pudding back up. But yes, it literally hangs there in like a wax cloth or canvas or cheesecloth and stuff. It's well wrapped, of course, like a cheese would be, you know. And then it's reconstituted the day of, yeah, and everybody eats it. So they live a while. I've actually had one on, not this year, but I had one on my counter for an entire year, and it was still fine. And all I had it in was like parchment and then a couple of layers of aluminum foil wrapped around it. And it was fine. Never molded, nothing. Okay. We're doing good. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any comments or anything. I'm going to have one more bite of this, and then I'll stop eating on camera. This is not one of those channels. Okay. And also, like, never unbuckled. I'm curious. Do we know each other, or did you just find the stream? If so, I would love to know how you found it. Because I'm always glad when somebody comes in that's just, most folks are folks I know. So if you're someone I don't know, that's exciting, and I'm happy you're here. Not that I'm not happy that everyone else is here, you know. I'm happy everyone's here. Okay. So the pudding went well. We are no longer in danger of catching fire. I need to find a place to put some things here because ASMR pudding eating. I am not sure. I don't know. Maybe I've got a future in what's that? What's the word? What's the word where people get a bunch of food and eat it on camera and everybody's all excited about it? Something. I can't remember. I also don't know where to put all of the things that I have. Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy you're happy to be here. I look forward to this all year, to be honest. Okay, let's put this over here. I'm just trying to clear a way out so that when I do my the raffle stuff. Yes, that's it. Mukbang. It's like, I don't know what language it is, but it's just, I think it's typically like an Asian thing. I think, I don't know where in Asia, but it's typically like, I want to say Korea or something, but I honestly don't know for sure. Vietnamese, I don't know. But it's certainly, a few bites of pudding. I don't know. And I'm not. I don't think I'm particularly ASMR-y. I've never been able to. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't give me chills. This doesn't do it. I don't know, but they're always touching the microphone. It's not my thing. So, I'm definitely seeing some latency on my stream, like the delay. I don't know if it's creeping up on you or not. That gives you chills, like the microphone thing gives you chills. I see people do it, or tapping things or whatever with products or whatever it is. That doesn't give me chills. There are some things that do. Certain sounds do, like, but it I don't know. I can make myself get chills if I think about it enough. It's like when you think about a lemon and it makes you pucker. It's that kind of thing. Well, I'm sorry if you're not trying to get chills and I'm doing this and you're like, so anyway, where are we here? Gosh, it's 10:11. Okay. This is okay. I need to move this. Oh, okay. Let's put this on here. There we are. And, South Korea. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I would. Okay. Korea. I was right the first time. When I ventured to guess, that's where it was. So yeah, it's like, I don't know. I've seen it a time or two, and it's like a lot of food. Not even. I've never been able to watch competitive eating or things like that because like it's so much food and it grosses me out. But yeah, it's kind of like that for me. I don't really. It's not my thing. It's somebody's thing, It's not my thing. So what am I doing? I've lost all train of thought. The pudding went so well. The pudding tasted so good. We've been talking about Victorian recipes, and that's exciting because I can nerd out about that stuff, and I love it. But we do have a raffle to do. I don't know. I generally try to wrap things up by 10:30 or so. So we're kind of short on time. I don't know that we'll get to play a game tonight necessarily. But, if I can think, I have to think of something else to do like in the future. Otherwise, it's just next Thanksgiving night. We're back at it. But Beard Meets Food. Yeah, so Beard Meets Food. There's a guy, wasn't there like a Man versus Food? And that kind of weirded me out. It's okay. So let me be clear. It's quantity challenges that gross me out. Here's a 40-pound burrito. You got 10 minutes, go. And that I can't watch that very well, but like spice challenges, like hottest pepper kind of stuff, that's fine. I don't know what it is. It's just like big food. It's not a fear. I don't know. Like, it's just an aversion. And like hot dog eating contests, like, come on, that's so many hot dogs. But let's see. Trying to see what we got. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me get this. Let me get the raffle tickets out because I've got to see who gets the 5-night thing. I don't know if anybody does, but we'll find out. You know what? Let's turn this light down this way. This year I upgraded and I've got this new light that sits up here and it's got like colored LEDs, but it's also got a white thing and I can twist it around and it's easy to, and like you can like tap it on and off real easy. It's pretty cool. So I've got to put this pudding plate somewhere. And okay, we'll get to this in a second. Okay. I hope I don't end up with pudding in my hat. Like my top hat. Yeah. I'm going to do some tallying here. So just hang tight. We'll just be chatting about stuff while we're doing this. But yeah, I would like to thank you all for what a year. It's been a fun year. I think this year more than most years. There's been engagement questions. Everybody's been chatty, and it's wonderful. It makes this such an easy thing to do. We're about to find out. And yeah, if you've been here for more than, yeah, no problem. I mean, I have a good time doing it. But if you've been here for all 5 nights, then there's a bonus ticket that goes in for you, and it's just that simple, folks. Okay, so we've got this one. I'm just making sure that I have everybody's name. Wow, night 2 was crazy. There were a lot of folks here. Okay. It took me a minute to figure out what that one even said. My handwriting is atrocious, and let me tell you. Okay. Okay. I've got to figure out. Wait, what's that one? Oh, I know who that is. Okay. Sometimes I write things in shorthand, and that's not a good thing sometimes. Man, there were so many different people on the second night. Okay. And there's all of those. Whew. Okay. Next, we have that is a new person. We've got you. Oh, yeah. Okay. Spoopy. I have to make sure that. There we go. I've got this grid that I'm laying out so that I can see who's here what night. And we're getting. There's you. I got that one out of order. One sec. Okay. Got to do it right, you know. Got to do it right. So I'm curious, while we're here, who's like, what are your favorite stave? What's your favorite stave? Now you've heard them all. What's your favorite stave, and why? I just want to know. Do you have a favorite stave, or a favorite ghost? Maybe it's different. Maybe you have a favorite ghost, but it's a different stave that you like the most. Personally, it's hard for me to decide, but I think I've said Ghost of Christmas Present is my favorite ghost. And I think probably Christmas Present is my favorite stave. I think it's absolutely the scariest. That's a perfectly fitting answer for the lunatics. You guys are, like, your wheelhouse is scary stuff, and you do it so well. I keep meaning to send you, there's videos that I'm seeing now, a lot of that are like such and such, your Appalachian girlfriend or whatever. But it's like just this waifish pale girl standing in a corner, like being all creepy. And it's like the creepy Appalachian girl. It's pretty funny. I keep meaning to send them to you. I don't know if I have yet. Yeah. Yep. Christmas or the Good Repentance story. Yeah. And absolutely. And it's great that, yeah, I love how much Scrooge changes, and I love how excited he gets about being able to be kind and not having missed out. Yeah. And I was listening to somebody else commentary on A Christmas Carol. I don't remember the exact bit of it that he was talking, but he was talking about how it's Scrooge's flaw isn't really it's not his wealth, it's not his saving, and it's not his frugalness. It's not that. It's the fact that he's saving it for nothing. It's the fact that he's only saving it because that's what, like, he's only saving it to be saving it, and it's not being used in any way. And it isn't so much about the generosity as it is about just, it's pointless. His life is pointless. He's doing nothing with it. And it's a fine point, but it's a good point where, like, you know, generosity without heart behind it is just, yeah, great, but you're great. Yeah, great. But Scrooge was generous, but also his heart was changed internally. He was, you know, he was given a new lease on life and a new way to see humanity. So, Victorian era version of extreme cheapskate. Yeah. But, like, yeah, why are you saving all that money was the thing. Like, you're not doing anything with this. Several of the characters even say it never did him any good. He didn't do me any good. What's the point? And that was his whole thing. And that's okay. There's another. I'm doing this. I promise. It's just taking some time. It's always a little tricky, but yeah. And so the part of the story that is the most touching to me is it's not that Scrooge gives his money away. It's that he's a changed man who desires to see other people lifted out of their situation. He wants to, you know, and he's not just throwing it away. He's being intentional about it. You know, he's making people's lives better. He's being, you know, intentionally generous. And so, that is super cool. And, it really does. I think I talked about it in the episodes, but I don't know if I mentioned it here, but, Dickens' own life, like he was raised in poverty. His dad was in a debtor's prison. He was forced to work in a factory when he was a child. Like he knew poverty. And, so he was really speaking out for those people in Victorian England who were, you know, poor and on the fringes and, just basically being scooted aside and not dealt with, like, you know. And so it's a good message for then and now. So, but yeah, so that was, Dickens was really writing from personal experience. And that is, okay, one sec. I have gotten things a little bit messed up here. Wait a second. Okay. We're doing fine. Everything's fine. I'm just making this grid here. What do I think okay, sorry. Love to have seen the turkey delivered to Bob. They did show it, didn't they? I think I remember that. My favorite version of that is my friend Tom. He's an old friend of mine. And he was in, he's not a theatrical person. He's not a theater person. He was in one production at a community college near where I live. And he played the guy who sold the turkey to the boy. And it was hilarious. He was super excited because you don't think about it, but not only was that prize turkey great for Bob Cratchit, but that kid came and bought that prize turkey. That storekeep was super excited because that was an expensive turkey. So he made that guy's day too, which is yet another little thing where you can't even, you know, with generosity, you don't even know, you know, if that kind of kindness becomes, regular thing, you don't even know how many different people you don't even think about you're making their lives better. So, that is just another little bit. I would love to, I don't know. I could talk about it a lot. It's a great story, as I have said. All right. There's a Kyle. Oh, that's okay. That would be never unbuckled. That's your entry. We got it. And we've got, where is that? There we go. All right. And so now we're down to tonight's that are still in the hat. But yeah, the funny thing about that play was, my friend kind of stole the show because he got so excited, and he had the turkey they had was like, it was light. It was like a bag filled with pillows, but it was huge. And he was so excited to sell the turkey, and the turkey was flopping around it shouldn't have been as light as it was, right, in appearance, but it was like, it was flopping around, and he was so excited, shook the guy's hand, and he looked exactly like a Muppet, to be honest. And so he was like, just popped up Muppet Christmas Carol style, and it was hilarious. I laughed my head off. There is Cal, and then we got Brent here. We got okay. Never unbuckle. Wait. Okay, cool. So Unbuckled was here another night. Is that? Do I have? That's cool. It's hard to keep track. It's just hard to keep track. All right, so there's that. And Spoop, which is here. And okay. So now, let's see if we can get an eye on. We've got, I know for sure we have, every night we've had Kyle. So Kyle has perfect attendance. Now, I want to be clear, if I miss anybody, because my sorting isn't perfect, you have to speak up, because I'm going to try and call out everybody I find here. But you get an extra entry because you're here all 5 nights. We're going to put you there. Now let's see. I know we have Lord Ramsey. Now I think it's both of you, but you've been signing in every night. So you are a five timer. Speaking of 5 timers, the 5 timers club on Saturday Night Live cracks me up. I love that. I love those bits. Another one for you. All right, so, and let's see if we've got, we have, now I have Zach, who has been here every night, and I don't know if Liz has been here every night, but I see, anyway, I don't see Liz every night comments, but I do see 5 Zachs. So I'm putting in an extra Zach. There we go. And let's see. I don't see extra Liz's, which is okay. Totally okay. Caitlin. And I believe we've got Caitlin every night. Am I right? Looks like it. I know you did. I think you made it last year. Not long you were working, I remember. But it was, but I think you've been able to hang out a little more this year. Have your hours changed, or are you different job, or is it just working better for you this year? You missed Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for telling me, because I think maybe I had your name slid across on me. So you missed Thanksgiving. Okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty. You've got several in here anyway. Your odds are pretty good. Okay. We've got Spoop. We do have Jacob here. Excuse me. Spoopy. I'm sorry. I think I've called you Jacob already, though. And you call yourself Jacob on the stream anyway. So it's fine. I know you're not that concerned about it. Oh, I see. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I hate to hear that. But I get, it's great that you're here, but I hate to hear that that's the deal. Sorry about that. Are you getting better? It's been March. Goodness gracious. Are are you recovering, or is this like a disability? Like, I hate to air this out on the chat, so you tell me as much as you are comfortable telling me. Sure thing, Zach. Will do. The year my Aunt Patty won twice, she actually had me send it to her daughter, my cousin, and their kids. So that's fine. That works. All right. So what am I? Oh, I'm writing. There we go. I'm putting spoop on here. Bulging disc. I'm sorry. And your job is on your feet a lot, right? Like that's one of those things. I'm real sorry about that. Okay. I'm taking all of the ones that are obviously not every day. We are, I think down, I think we're down. I think we've got everybody who's been here every day. If I'm going to give you a few minutes, if you were here every day and I didn't just say your name, let me know. We'll clarify it. Also, it's not that big of a deal. I don't want to have less names. I want to make sure everybody has a good time and there's prizes. So, okay, but I'm getting ready to dump all these in here. But if I didn't mention you as a 5-timer, then let me know. If you are a 5-timer. If you're not a 5-timer, then don't let me know. All right. So, this Billy York still getting a paycheck. It worries me that I'm going to have that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I hope that, well, you know, surgery can be beneficial, but I know that just increases recovery time and things like that. But that's rough. The bulging disc thing is, I mean, it's nothing to mess with, right? Things start going south on that. So take care of yourself. Make sure if you need the surgery, get the surgery. Oh my gosh. I had a friend of mine, he didn't die because of back stuff. Okay. So he was getting up there in age. But he had, disc issues that were kind of neglected and ended up having to have like a fusion and all kinds of stuff done. And, but no, take care of that. Take care of yourself. Cause that's rough. I'm just mixing things up here. Right. Sure. Yeah, no doubt. The least invasive thing possible, but by no means. Yeah. Is that off? Yeah, I get you. And I'm mixing them up here. We're gonna do the drawing in just a second. Oh, and it's 10:30. It's perfect timing. All right. So I am gonna I've got all these in here. Are we ready? Is everyone ready? We are going to do the drawing momentarily. This is just I'm mixing them up real good because I had them all stacked in together, so I want to make sure they're good mixed up. But this is to increase the dramatic effect. We're just increasing the dramatic effect. The longer the drama, the more dramatic the effect. Or the more dramatic the drama, the longer the drama. I don't know. I'm not good at drama. Okay. Here we go. And the drawing. And so this is for the facsimile copy of the first edition of A Christmas Carol, which is over here. Let me pull this up again. Okay. The facsimile copy, which I will sign inside and send your way. And let me pull up. It's filled with lovely color illustrations and some of the handwritten bits on the inside from the first edition. Anyway, a darling little copy. Quite like it. I have one myself. So, are you ready? Now, for serious this time. Okay. All right. All right. Oh. That's not an actual one. That's just in there for decoration. Okay, are you ready? And the winner of year 6 Christmas Carol read through, Fadó Live Christmas Carol read through, the winner, 2025. How many more things? Anyway, right, here we go. And the winner is upside down. Oh, Lunatics. Congratulations, Abby and Alan. You are the winners of this year's. Can you read that? Yeah, there it is. That's my version of Lunatics. I promise that says Lunatics. Congratulations to Abby and Alan for their victory. I will send you the ticket as well. You are going to get a package. I'll send it to you, and along with eventually the journal, which is sitting right there. And I've been getting all this out of the way, and now I can focus on that. I'll get that to you too. But congratulations. I'll send it your way. And there we go. So, everyone, I'm just glad it wasn't Aunt Patty again. I get accusatory language when Aunt Patty wins. All right. So, folks, again, I am really grateful that you're here, and this is a really good time, and I'm just pleased at how it went this year. I'm already looking forward to year 7. Let's see what we got here. Excited for the journal. No big rush. Oh yeah, I'm excited for the journal too. I've been dying to get back to it. There's just been so much happening. All of the consolation prize, everybody's going to get a little bit of pud in the mail. Just a little bit of pud. Just a little pud. But yeah, no, I'm grateful that everyone is here. I hope you've all had a fantastic time. And as I said, I look forward to year 7, and we'll do this again. It's been an honor and a privilege to be your host for the 2025 read through of A Christmas Carol. And it's a little flat rate box with just a little scoop of pudding. That would be funny. That I hope that was a supernatural reference. But anyway, I will let you guys go because it's Christmas Eve and very soon it will be Christmas. And I hope for you in the coming year that you will face your life with the kind of gusto that newly changed Scrooge did, with kindness and generosity and all of those things. And when we reach Thanksgiving next year, we'll start it over and we'll remind ourselves what it's all about. Thank you so much for indulging me on this weird thing. And I appreciate you all, and Merry Christmas to all of you. And so here goes nothing. That brings us to the end of Fadó Live, A Christmas Carol read through year 6. And thanks for listening. And I'll talk to you once upon a next time. Good night.